We're going to go to an interview with Jeannie Ward from Cartwright, Newfoundland and Labrador. Cartwright, Labrador, really, which is about a 5-hour drive from Happy Valley Goose Bay, which has been, I guess we'll call the epicenter of the Muskrat Falls protest charges, that kind of thing. And Jenny has been on the front lines. She's going to court, that kind of thing, for a couple different things, but mostly what I was talking to her about is this amazing letter she wrote to Todd Russell, the Nunavut president, and she'll get that name right when she does the interview. You can also get a hold of Nunavut Community Council, 200 Kelland Drive, P.O. Box 460 STN.C, Happy Valley Goose Bay, Newfoundland, AOP 1CO, Canada, 709-896-0592. And Jeannie would like it to be known that Todd has not got back to her letter and not got back to a lot of people who are facing serious charges. A lot of it based on things Todd was kind of inspiring people to do as far as Muskrat Falls goes. So this letter speaks to so many things going on in Labrador and what some of the people are going through with Muskrat Falls, but beyond that, I would say too. So I'll take you to that interview I did with Jeannie Thursday night. You're gonna hear a little bit of cat in the background and that kind of thing. That's okay. That's what it's all about. So yeah, here you go. Interview with Jeannie Ward in Labrador. Hi Jenny, this is I'm Dave Fort here. How you doing?
Hi Dave. Good, how are you?
I'm good. Why don't you tell us this letter you wrote to? I'll let you say the name.
Yeah, I wrote a letter to the president of Nunavut, our leader of our Aboriginal group here, mostly on the south coast and central Labrador.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm just really dissatisfied with his stand during this whole muskrat fiasco, I guess we call it.
Yeah.
He hasn't supported us. He hasn't spoken out. We haven't heard a word from him. Like before all this court talk came in, all the court battle. Before all that came in, he was, make muskrat right. He was there to protest. He was, encouraging us. He tore up the copy of the injunction. Like it encouraged us to fight. Like,
right.
And then once it all came down to it, he left us in the loop. We're on our own. We're totally abandoned by our leader.
And did that, now I read in the letter, did that happen, I guess, before or after he met with the Premier?
That happened after he met with the Premier.
Okay.
Before, while we were protesting, he was very pro-protesting. He was all for it. He took his stand. He was very outright and, wanted better for Labrador. He wanted to make muskrat rights. But then once he came out of this meeting with this horrifying terror look on his face, that was it. There was another word to be heard.
Okay, well, why don't, do you want to read that letter to us?
Do you want me to read the whole thing? It's quite long.
I read the letter, and I just think it's a great letter, and it speaks to a lot of things. So yeah, we got the time. If you don't mind.
I don't even have it in front of me here. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, no rush.
Okay, I have it here.
Okay.
So I just addressed it to the Nunavut Community Council, and I said to Nunavut President Todd Russell, I would like to take this opportunity to remind you, in case you have forgotten, the definition of Nunavut. It means our ancient land. It is the territory of the southern Inuit people of Labrador. I also would like to refresh you with the objectives of Nunavut as found on the Nunavut Community Council homepage. Then there was a list. A is to participate in all of the legal, civil, and constitutional Aboriginal rights and liberties enjoyed in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador and in Canada. B is to preserve the traditional culture, such as music, food, preparation, ceremonies, gatherings, survival skills, efficient ways of living off the land while preserving it, of the membership, and to demonstrate the pride and self-respect in the Inuit heritage and language. C is to maintain hunting, fishing, trapping, and land rights of the membership and the right to pursue traditional activities. D is to use research, disseminate information, and sponsor directly or indirectly the development of viable economic projects and programs. E, to improve the well-being, example, social, economic, physical, psychological of the members. F, to self-govern. G, to have an agreed-upon map of our own territory. And H, to use negotiated funds to compensate the people for any losses for disruption of their lifestyle or destruction of resources. I would like to draw special attention to points A, B, C, E, and H as we continue on. I said, I am a member of Nunatuvet, something I have held with pride since I was a child. I was born in a tiny, now abandoned community on the south coast, raised on the coast and happily lived and loved the traditional Labrador culture. I enjoy the freedom of Labrador life, the clean air and water, the hunting, the fishing, and eating our traditional foods. This is something that was instilled in me to be healthy and encouraged by our elders. I always followed, encouraged, and participated in Nunatuvet, previously the Labrador Métis Nation, protests in the struggle to gain recognition and rights, and in perseverance of Labrador traditions and cultures. I was a faithful follower of Todd Russell, as you were considered a friend, a local coastal guy that we all grew up with. I said, I sat in the boat next to you as we fought for the right of our people to be allowed to catch salmon. I helped pull those fish aboard as fisheries swarmed us and took pictures. I was there. I went out in the spring to hunt geese as was encouraged by Nunatuvet as a right of our people. I did that without fear of persecution, as believing it was our right and privilege. I was there. I stood on the wharf in Port Hope Simpson with you and others as the barge came in carrying the heavy equipment for construction of the Trans-Labrador Highway, the Cow's Path, you named it. We prepared to set up camp on the wharf in protest of the lack of local hiring in the construction phase of the highway. I was there. I watched and supported you as the RCMP dragged you off the pavement at the junction of the Muskrat Falls site in the early phase back in April 2013. I watched as you stood and spoke and held hands in triumph with the Innu Nation Grand Chief and the Nunatuvet President, as it marked the first time all three groups come together in a unified voice on an issue. To quote you, this is a historic event. I think that itself speaks to the seriousness and significance of the methylmercury poisoning, which the government and Nalcor is intent on doing to our people. You stood there in front of the Premier of this province and demanded better for our people. The people of our ancient land came together and cheered in relief and praise for their elected leaders, thinking that our culture, traditions, health and safety, and our human rights would finally be heard and sought. I watched as you, our leader, tore up a copy of the court injunction on October 16th in the midst of the Make Muskrat Right campaign, giving us all a renewed hope and faith that our concerns were no longer going to be unnoticed or unheard, that our demands would be fought for. It made us feel that we were going to be supported in our continued protests to once again protect our rights, traditions, culture, and overall well-being. I listened to you as you met and welcomed the Cartwright motorcade to the protest site, as you addressed a large group of protesters that evening and the next day. You spoke so passionately and purposefully in the support of what we were all there for. Once again, we cheered in jubilation and power. I was there. The next day, the gate to Muskrat Falls opened, and so many of us poured through it with the intent to shut Muskrat down, to make Muskrat right. A large crowd entered, most turned back. I stopped a short while after going through the gate, spoke to my fiancé about if we should keep going or not. Then I thought about why I was doing this in the first place for my two young children, so that they could grow up freely and live the traditional and healthy culture that I was blessed to be born to and know and love. So I kept going. I was there. I continued on with the group toward the camp. On the way, I turned, expecting to see you. I asked another walker where you were. Someone replied with, I asked him if he was coming, and he said, I can't. I can't even begin to explain the feelings that came over me at that moment. I was there. Finally, we made it to the campsite. We shut it down. We endured 5 long days sleeping on the cold floor in that building. During our stay, we heard from you one time, in which we called you. We asked to meet with you to confirm that what it was that we, as one Labrador, wanted brought forward. You never returned their phone calls. When we called again, you were on your way to meet with in St. John's. We felt broken, betrayed, and let down. Again, I was there. So where are we now? Another beep, I think.
Yeah.
I, as well as 27 others, not all Nuntuva Community Council members, but strong fellow Labrador land protectors are facing criminal charges for taking a stand for what we believe in. I took a stand following your words of encouragement, thinking that you were behind us and support us. You would speak for us and you would not back down or let us down. Was I ever wrong? We all know the end result of the meeting. We are all unsatisfied and disappointed in all three of our Aboriginal leaders. Our hearts sank in the wee hours of that morning as we watched you, Anastasia, and Johannes walk out with defeat written all over your faces. I was there. Furthermore, disappointment has led to utter disgust, as now those of us facing charges, both civil and criminal, are fighting alone. We have had no support from our elected Aboriginal leaders, neither of you. Not so much, to my knowledge, as even spoken out in support or to fight to get these charges dropped. We are left with no other option but to fundraise to try to obtain funds for legal representation to try to fight these charges. Some of us have jobs that are in jeopardy if we are convicted of a criminal charge. Do you consider us criminals? I do not. How are we supposed to provide for our young families then? We stand to lose everything for fighting for our everything, our children's future, their culture and Aboriginal rights. I want to know why and how you can sleep at night. Why are you not doing everything in your power to stand up for your people to get these charges dismissed? Your people, me included, that voted you in as leader, our voice to fight for our rights. Am I mistaken in thinking that the president of a group of people, the Nuntuva Community Council, was elected to fight for our rights, culture, tradition, and safety in our native land? Isn't that what Nuntuva is all about? When you protested and got arrested, I'm certain a lawyer was there to fight for your freedom. Why is there not a legal counsel available for all members of Nuntuva? Even more, why are you not going to court to fight for our freedom? I'm appalled that after all the demonstrations and words of protest from you, we are left high and dry to fight for ourselves. Shame, shame, shame. As a member of Nuntuva, I demand and expect some answers and support in this legal battle we face. I will be honest in reminding you that you were elected by us, the little people of this ancient land that you claim to love and vow to fight for. I will be upfront in letting you know that it will be highly unlikely that you will get another vote from me. I'm quite positive that many others feel the same after your lack of support in this whole process. I often wonder what was said in that meeting with the Premier, and I wish I was a fly on the wall that night. What was said to you three that caused so much fear and silence? After that meeting, all communication and support for our demonstration stopped. Not a word to be heard. Disgusting, to say the least. I look forward to a response from you. Better yet, I look forward to you stepping forward to help us, not just members of Nuntuva, but all people of this great land that we share. I feel you owe us that. Jeannie Ward.
Okay.
That's it.
Great. That's a wonderful letter.
Took a while.
Yeah.
I had to work on it for a while.
So do you feel like they were, when they met with the Premier, were they threatened with something? Like an ultimatum that was just too big? Or you don't know?
Yes, there was a big ultimatum given. It was either back off or else.
Yeah.
You know, something. I mean, three of them walked out and they had this look of terror, defeat, like a total loss. Like, we could see it as soon as they walked out.
And was that here in St. John's or up in Labrador?
The meeting was in St. John's, yes.
Yeah.
We watched it as it happened.
Okay.
In camp. So we saw it.
And what specific charges are you guys facing right now?
Well, the majority of us are faced with mischief over $5,000
Mischief.
and breaking the injunction.
Okay.
Now, there are a few other charges. I guess, like, someone is being charged with, cutting the lock, and someone's being charged with taking a truck. And
Right.
myself, I'm charged with mischief over $5,000 and breaching the court order.
Okay. The court order from the prior arrest?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, one that they said, I guess, back in October, I assume.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still catching up on everything.
No, it was probably before October.
Okay.
Because we entered the gate in October, so.
Okay, so what, in your mind, what's next?
I think it's going to be a lengthy court battle. Like, I'm 5 hours away from Goose Bay, so every time that I have to go to court, it's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, there's going to be many trips to Goose Bay. I think it's going to drag out. What's going to come out of it, I don't really know. I know, like myself personally, I'm a paramedic, so
Okay.
I'm not allowed to have a criminal record.
Right.
And I know there were other trained professionals that entered the gate too, like social workers, teachers.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for them, so I don't know if the conviction stands or if they are convicted. I mean, if the charge stands, if they are convicted, I don't know how it will affect us. But yeah, it's just all up in the air. We have no legal representation. We have no one standing behind us. We're fighting this battle completely on our own.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. It's stressful.